The one trick I wanted to talk to you guys about today and get a little in depth on is the backside 360. The backside 360 is probably my favorite trick right now, and it has been for the past couple seasons. So yeah, let's get into it. So for the backside 360, you'll really want to focus on your approach and your setup carves. So for carving into it, you'll want to start off on your heels or your toes, and depending on if you start on your heel or your toes, it might change a few things. Like your heels, I feel like you'll usually make about 4 turns. If you start on your toes, you'll make about 3, possibly even 5, but this can also vary. You can technically ride totally straight into it and completely flat if you wanted to. You probably could generate enough power, but we're gonna try to do this technically right, and I'm gonna try to break it down to you guys in a way that makes sense and is easy for a beginner. If you're starting on your heels, the reason I'm saying this, just think about this real quick. You'll go heel, toe, heel, toe, because we're taking off on our toes for the backside 3. That's why the heels, that's 4 turns. If I'm on my toes, toe, heel, toe. And then there will also be variations to that. The most important part with the setup turns is that your final setup turn is a heel side turn. And then your final turn will be on your toes into the jump and off the jump. So it's not really, it's basically your final setup turn, and then you're getting on to your toes to throw the spin. And we'll get more into that in a second. So yeah, you'll be transitioning to your toe side as you're hitting the jump, and ideally your board will be flat by the time you're at the spoon of the jump, which is the very beginning bottom of the jump. And when you're doing this, you want to aim for a straight line approach through the jump. So as you're hitting the ramp of the jump, think about it like you want to carve a straight line through the jump. You also don't want to take too much of a wide heel side approach. The straighter you can stay, the better. But you also want to use that setup turn to generate some power. So I would say a good general term is like start off when you're on the heel side turn, you should be maybe on the right side of the jump. And then as you're turning into it, be pointed at the left side of the jump, but you're going to be taking off in the middle. So a slight angle for this is good, I'm pretty sure. But if you're struggling to clear a jump, if you're checking any speed with your setup turns, try to avoid that. And then if you know you're not checking any speed or taking off any speed with your setup turn, then try to stay a lot straighter. Maybe, instead of all the way to the right side of the jump on the heels, maybe, 1/3 to the right, and then the left third. And your shoulders here are key. So when you're on your heels, your shoulders will automatically open towards the jump, which that's what you want. Because if you think about it, backside 3, and you throw like this, what generates that power? You first want to wind up your shoulders. But for the 3, for a 5, you actually want to intentionally open them up a little bit. For a 7, definitely, which I don't have 7s yet, but that's a goal this year. So once you're on the heel side and you're aiming for like the left side corner of the jump, you'll automatically have the shoulders open. So then when you're transitioning to that toe side and you're trying to get to your toes before the jump, you'll automatically start to close your shoulders. So ideally, we want to time this up where we're on our heels, opened. Now we're starting to think about getting on our toes. As we get on our toes, our shoulders are closing, and use that closing momentum to throw into the spin. So that is the motion right there. So for your shoulders, you want to, slowly rotate them to time it where when you're at that top of the jump, you release it, boom. So the faster you're going, so you go in faster on your heels, like by the time you're on your toes, you have more speed, you'll want to throw it faster. And you can actually, once you get more experienced, I wouldn't try this yet, but you can actually, get on your toes, wait, and then snap. So there's a couple different ways you can throw it. I think a smooth approach with your shoulders and your spin is best. A common mistake here is spinning too early. I used to do this all the time. Spinning too early is one thing, but also you want to keep your board as straight as possible once you're leaving the jump too. So your shoulders spin first with your legs staying straight, and then you pop, and bring everything up. Try to keep that board as straight as possible while going off. You will have a little bit of turn in the board naturally most of the time, but if you can keep it as perfectly straight as possible, that's great. Takeoff air position. One of the big things about your takeoff is, so like I said, when you take off, you will be here. Your head is going to be already around, looking to the right, shoulders will be to the right, but as you're timing that, you want to time it to where when you get to the top of the jump with your shoulder motion, you'll also want to be simultaneously popping off the jump. So it's a twist and pop. You want to time that when you get to the lip of the jump. And you'll want to be popping straight up. One of the common mistakes is to pop tilted over, which I've been guilty of that several times. Even sometimes I'm still guilty of that. And sometimes I do like to try to cork them out a little bit. So sometimes it is intentional, but the more upright you are in snowboarding, the better most of the times with your tricks. Once you take off the jump, your trajectory is already in motion. So just relax and try to keep your mind relaxed, because you can't really change where you're going once you've taken off. You can manipulate it a little bit, but for the most part, you're going where you're going. And your head and your shoulders will already be in the right position, because if you look where I am here, that's like the back of me. So I'll be looking to the right to spin this way, and your shoulders and your head will bring you around. So as you're in the air with your lower body, the main focus really here is your head and your shoulders. Turn to the right, keep them around. You would have popped, so you'll pop up. Slowly as you're coming around, slowly bring your legs up. So ideally when you're here, you'll be at full air with your knees up, maybe grab your board, come around and keep your shoulders closed until they're parallel with the snow, and then boom, stop it. A common mistake, something that I did for so long with these, is opening my shoulders and not staying closed long enough. Opening too early in my rotation. So I would throw and then, oh, I see the landing, open, and that's way too early. And that'll cause you to land back on your heels or totally not land the trick at all. So the goal is to pop straight up and keep your body upright so that your spin is coming right around and your body stays in good position as you're coming around. Keep that twist in your shoulders and head. Sometimes when you throw it, you won't have to keep your shoulders or head turned around as long, and your spin itself can bring you around. If you have that much speed and power from the spin, you can chill a little bit more and open your shoulders a little earlier. And you'll get a better feel for this the more that you do the backside 360. Yeah, you'll start to get a feel of when you can release your shoulders and stuff like that. And you can play around with your legs too. Like the first couple times, I would say try to just bring your legs up with your shoulders as best as you can. They'll be a little behind. But you can also mess around with that. Like your shoulders can come around and then you could whip your legs around a little later. And just play around with it as you get better with the 360. One of the biggest things that I've been saying here is keep your chest up and your body aligned. If you're leaning over, that'll cause a bunch of problems in your spin, unless you're intentionally trying to cork it. As far as landing, like I said, you'll want to make sure you're landing in a good body position. Your knees are bent and you're trying to go with the landing, is what I like to say. Let your body absorb the impact. Try to land flat on your board or on your toes. The first year you might land on your heels sometimes, or even past that. Like sometimes I still land on my heels, but the proper way to do it is to land flat or on your toes. Try to get your shoulders all the way around when you're landing too. And it'll generally be like your legs will be coming around as you land, and just kind of let your body take you, bend your knees, absorb that landing at the bottom, and ride away. And that's my main tips on the backside 360. Some final tips to remember when it comes to the backside 360. Speed is your friend. Staying upright helps, and smooth timing with the pop is key. Also, I like to think about it as a rotation rather than a 360 spin. That helped me out a little bit when it came to actually thinking about what the trick is. It just helped me understand it a lot better because you're really traveling, generally straight. You might like drift a little bit, but you're generally going straight in the air and rotating as you're going straight, which it is a spin, but thinking about it as a spin kind of like made me, I don't know, spin too early sometimes and just caused me a little bit of problems in the beginning. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want more like this, let me know. Backside 3 is probably one of my better tricks. That's why I chose this one to make the video on. I'm not an expert or a snowboarding coach or anything like that, but I love snowboarding, and if I can give out some tips to help beginners become a little bit better and, land their first backside 360, then nothing would make me happier. I would love to help more people improve their snowboarding, and I really enjoy just like talking about the technical side of snowboarding. So as I get tricks better and better, I will start doing these a little more probably. Maybe like lip slide 270. Once I get that unlocked, I could do a video on that. But yeah, I'd say the only trick I have that I can make a video on at this moment is probably the backside 3. But soon maybe I can make more. 180s, I would say I could do that, but yeah, maybe we'll do a 180. But yeah, for right now, I thought the first trick video for me should be a back 3. That's my favorite trick, and I think it's a trick that can really just like set the foundation. I was watching this guy Tavis, and shout out to Tavis, that dude. If you want to watch like really good breakdowns of snowboarding, he's the guy to go to. He has like really in-depth videos. I just kind of wanted to make a general video on it, and yeah, stay up, stay blessed, keep doing what y'all doing. I'll talk to you guys soon. Coast, we out.